one poem I wanted to read is that is us in whom all kinds of people reside. You're not one. You have other people living in you. You have various sides of you. So this poem is called Tujhme Koi Aur Rehta Hai. And then I would, Sadhguru, of course, we would be requesting you to also recite some work because this is a combination of poetry and also I have to definitely ask you a question about your painting. Tujhme koi aur rehta hai. Somebody else resides in you. But I'll read it and explain it to you later. तुझमें कोई और रहता है, गौर से सुनना बीच बीच में, जाने वो क्या क्या कहता है. तुझमें कोई और रहता है. तेरी हरियाली के अंदर एक टीला है रेगिस्तानी. तेरी हरियाली के अंदर एक टीला है रेगिस्तानी. एक संतुलित तू है और तुझमें ही रहती है नादानी. एक संतुलित तू है और तुझमें ही रहती है नादानी. घाव छुपा है पर बहता है, तुझमें कोई और रहता है. गौर से सुनना बीच बीच में, जाने वो क्या क्या कहता है. आंगन में जो वृक्ष खड़े हैं, आंगन में जो वृक्ष खड़े हैं, सब तुमने ही बोए एक दिन. तुम्हें याद है हंसी खिलखिली, पर तुम ही थे रोए एक दिन. तुम में ही है जिद्दी आशा, तुम में ही है जिद्दी आशा, और तुम में ही घोर निराशा. तुम ही गोटी चलते हो और तुम ही फेंक रहे हो पासा. तुम में ही है जिद्दी आशा और तुम में ही घोर निराशा. तुम ही गोटी चलते हो और तुम ही फेंक रहे हो पासा. अपने जुल्म खुद ही सहता है, तुझमें कोई और रहता है. ये मन की नारंगी चीरो, ये मन की नारंगी चीरो, फांक फांक तुम ही हो सारे. इच्छाओं के इस कमरे में नींद तुम्हारी, स्वप्न तुम्हारे. खुद करता है खुद भरता है, तुझमें कोई और रहता है. तुम ही चांद के शीतल प्रेमी, तुम ही अग्नि को हो उकसाते. तुम ही चांद के शीतल प्रेमी, तुम ही अग्नि को हो उकसाते. तुम ही शांति का दूत बने हो, तुम ही रक्त को हो दहकाते. फिर भी रंग कौन भरता है, तुझमें कोई और रहता है. गौर से सुनना बीच बीच में, जाने वो क्या क्या कहता है. Sadhguru, this is about exploring yourself, and the stupidity or the destruction resides in very much in you, and it depends which chord has been struck, and that's where someone like you, Sadhguru, comes in, who strikes and evokes the right side of you. Do you think, Sadhguru, in a human mind or human being, the good and bad resides together?
Well, I would like to separate the human mind and the being.
Okay.
About so many people residing in us, my entire life's work is that I exorcised all of them. My ancestors, my parentage, my teachers, my friends, my loved ones, I exorcised all of them. And let me read this poem. Because you said this, I had this ready. Let me see. And anyway, I'm going to send you… I'm going to literally torment you with… I'll send 500 poems to you. You must write a introductory, I'm publishing a book, 500 poems. So, this is called Empty Page. When thoughts that are too profound for words form in one's mind, heart swells, lifts tides high, the veil of time cracks and reveals the roots of past and what portends as future. When thoughts that are too profound for words form in one's mind, heart swells, lifts tides high, the veil of time cracks and reveals the roots of past and what portends as future. A man who lives through this is no more just a man. The world will label him a sage, but in truth, he is a fathomless empty page. A man who lives through this is no more just a man. The world will label him a sage, but in truth, he is a fathomless empty page.
Nice, Sadhguru, very nice. Sadhguru, just speaking on one…
If human experience in many ways is reflection of what we perceive, if what we perceive sticks to the mirror of our minds, suppose we have a mirror at home and you have appeared in front of the mirror 10,000 times, even if it remembers 10% of your past appearances, that mirror is no good mirror anymore, it's finished. You have a mirror, it reflects you perfectly well right now. The moment you're gone, totally gone, no memory left. So, the entire spiritual work is just about that. You want to exorcise your parents, your friends, your loved ones, your ancestors, your genetic values, your even evolutionary memory, so that when you sit here, you sit like an empty page. So all these people who reside within us means, in some way, we are yet to become an individual, because an individual means something that is not further divisible. If there is a crowd inside, this is the only reason why it is so hard to transform people, because they have loved ones in their heart. They are willing to give up their enemies, at least outwardly. But they have things that they like, they can't give up. With a crowd inside, you cannot go through transformation. To transform, first of all, you must have a form. A crowd never has a form, it's a nebulous piece of thing. As you said, this moment you are a symbol of peace, next moment you're violent, next moment you're this, next moment you're that, simply because a crowd is always a nebulous form, it is not a form. So when we talk about transformation, the first step is to become a form. It is just reverse of what you want. First you become a form, you become an individual form, then only you can transform. If you remain a crowd, there is no room for transformation. You can just make the crowd more complex by peppering it with more stuff.
But Sadhguru is a great thought, but at the same time, going back to what we were talking earlier, now India has been a collective society where your existence, your individuality did not matter that much as now me, myself, people started talking, children are talking about me time, you're talking about me being very, very important. In fact, I was trying to see, and people are saying that, we have become more participative, interactive. And if you go back to the tribal culture, I think even art is very collective. You see the tribal dancers, there is no active performer and a passive audience. There is an active performer and an active audience, where they are co-creating something, they are together. In folk songs, I've seen that been participated in folk songs, and you see that people get up, sit down, they perform together. There is not an individual which is trying to outshine you. And if I have become a seeker of individuality, don't you think this individualism will lead into a society which is very selfish?
See, there is something called an individual, which is a nature's gift to us. Creation's magnanimity has been showered upon us that we are individuals. Individualism or individuality is something that you philosophize your individuality and try to build something else out of it. Now, when you say this society was not individualistic, that is not so, because this is the only culture which has been talking about individual mukti, individual transformation. Everywhere else they've been talking about collective stuff, and that's the reason why today individualism is spreading from the West, not from the East. But here also we have become more West than West, that's a different matter, but I'm talking about West and East more metaphorically, not necessarily geographically. So, when we say we are a society, if you look at all the religious teachings in the Western cultures, everything, they always talked about the herd and the flock, should grow together. That will never happen with a human being. Individuals will always grow as individuals. But individualism is a reaction to this flock that they forcefully made. When you make them flocks, now there will rise individualism. Here, every individual was always allowed to seek his own spiritual path. It doesn't matter. See, right now, in every other religion, once you say this is the word of God, you must just follow that because God has said it. But this is the only culture where even if so-called godlike entities came, we only argued with them, we only debated with them, we only asked them 1,000 questions. You just see Shiva tries to speak to his wife she freaks him with 1,000 questions. Krishna, after many years of waiting, that too at the edge of a battlefield, tries to speak to this one guy who is so dear and close to him. Look at that guy, how many questions? And look at me, all these idiots asking how many questions every day and night. Because in this culture, individual growth is most important. So this is what logical mind fails to understand. Growth does not mean you will become a big individual. Growth means your individuality dissolves and you become universal. But instead of being an individual, you try to make a herd. Then in reaction, people develop philosophies of individualism. This me time has come now. Time is there for all of us. Who is stopping you? What is this me time? Me time means you get lost, that's me time.
Sadhguru, what I absolutely understand what you're saying, and final dissolving and finding oneself. What I meant was this 4-line I'll read. See, I have used the metaphor of, a diya, a lamp, quite a lot. And mostly I've used it in a sense that the one which fights with the storm and, shines. But I was talking about the mothers, the silent people in our lives, our relatives, our teachers, who are a different kind of lamp. And I said, I wrote this, kind of a little humor in it. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम. Very domesticated lamp you are. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. कोई त्योहार भी मना लेते, बस तपस्या ही क्यों लिए हो तुम. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. कोई त्योहार भी मना लेते, बस तपस्या ही क्यों लिए हो तुम. कुछ हवाओं से गर झगड़ते तुम, if you fought with the storms. कुछ हवाओं से गर झगड़ते तुम, एक अलग रुतबा तुमको मिल जाता. जिक्र गजलों में करता कोई और, कोई गीतों में तुमको भी गाता. कुछ हवाओं से गर झगड़ते तुम, एक अलग रुतबा तुमको मिल जाता. जिक्र गजलों में करता कोई और, कोई गीतों में तुमको भी गाता. होंठ अपने मगर सिए हो तुम, बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. So this is a different kind of lamp I was talking about. And
see, if we look at our own mothers, please, whoever will listen to this carefully, because I am not saying this with any disrespect or without appreciation of what these Garelu Diye people without them life is not the same, okay? So, let's say we take our mothers as example. If we look at it from outside, in today's context, the way people are looking at life in today's context, not when we were growing up, we did not see it that way. Now when we look at it from today's context, how everybody is talking about me time, such a thing never occurred to our mothers, no me time. Because… is it because they're selfless service, they're dedicated? It's not like that. It is just that they form their identity little larger than themselves. For them, me was my family. So, this situation happened when I was about 12 years of age. I mean, today, I know, especially in the West and also in urban centers in India, it's becoming necessary that mothers have to tell their children every few days, I love you, otherwise children will question, do you really love me or not? Because they want something, if you don't get it, suddenly a doubt arises whether my mother loves me or not, my friend's mother loves him more than my mother loves me, this kind of things are happening. Such things never happened to us. Nor did our mothers ever say, I love you to us. Never once my mother ever said, I love you. But that was never in question, she lived for us. It's not even that such a thought existed that she lived for us and all this. But there was no such questions because they created an ambience where such things did not arise. So when I was around 12 years of age, she had this, I don't know if I have to call it a habit or a weakness or an insight, that she would end up sharing things with me like I am almost like her elder brother. She never treated me as the youngest child in the family. I was never treated that way, I was not cuddled, I was not carried, because I didn't like those things right from a very early age. So she would share things with me sometimes that she wouldn't even want to share with her husband that she worshipped, literally. So one day, some emotional situation, not exactly I love you kind of stuff, but she said something which is expressing her emotion to me. By then my mind was crazy with questions. By then I had produced a few… I was also a billionaire by then because I had 1 billion questions. So, when she expressed this, I asked her, suppose I was born in the next house, would you still feel this way about me? I thought it was just a question. But her eyes welled up with tears and she walked away. I thought, what did I do wrong? I just asked a question. But after about 10-15 minutes, she came and I was still there. And she came and touched my feet, like she would do to some elder. She came and held my feet and did like this. I thought, what's happening here? I had no clue at that time. But I just asked a question and it evoked so many things in her. Because at that moment when I asked that question, it struck her so strong because she wouldn't feel that way if I was in the next house, I'm sure. I just asked a simple question in my mind because I was a billionaire, you know. A cloud of 1 billion questions were always following me at that time. It took me a long time, full-time dedication to clear up all that cloud. So, this Garewali… Gharelu…
Domesticated. I have to spend some more time with you, Sadhguru.
To teach me some Hindi.
I have to come to the ashram.
Gharelu Diya, right? So, these people shine not because they want to shine, these people shine simply because inclusiveness has become their way of existence. If only their inclusiveness grew beyond the family, they would become fantastic, which my great-grandmother was. She was, somebody that everybody came to. Always I saw this happening. My grandfather is a big, moneyed man. Every day in the morning transactions happen, people come for payments, this, that, and there he handles it in his own way. Like a king, he sits there and deals with things. In the backyard, my great-grandmother sits there. After they're done with horrible transactions with my grandfather, they will always come to visit her. They have no need to visit her. She is not going to give them a rupee because she doesn't have any. But they come there simply because they like to be with her. They'll simply hang around. She will just abuse them nicely, lovingly abuse each one of them. The more she abuses them, the more they love her. So, her inclusiveness went beyond the family. Suddenly people almost looked at her worshipfully simply because of that. So, what we say as mother, a few days ago was Mother's Day, today is some nurse day, whatever, all these things, what it means is, somewhere your care and concern went beyond your individual nature. You did not take your individuality too seriously. Nature has given you this out of magnanimity that you have individual experience. Don't become too serious about it, because that is not true. When the virus comes, at least you must realize you are not really an individual. They are living within you.
Exactly. Well said, Sadhguru. I think to your point, and I think if these mothers and these grandmothers and these were too individualistic, and if they were not ready to subsume their identities and look after us, we would be, I think we've talked about it earlier that, we never called them working women, we called them non-working women, because they did not bring paycheck.
They were having a love affair.
Yes.
Yes, their love affair with not just with one man, their love affair with whatever they considered as theirs, absolute love affair, totally, all the time.
Yes.